sitting in a courtroom, the air thick with tension. On the screen in front of you, hotel surveillance footage. Allegedly graphic, disturbing. And as it's played, the room falls silent. Not because of what's being seen, but because of who's in the footage, and who's watching. On one side, an attorney flipping through damning timestamps. On the other, Sean Diddy Combs, hip-hop icon, now accused of creating a dark double life that's unraveling, second by second, frame by frame. Diddy, sitting in a courtroom, stone-faced, while an attorney methodically began laying out what might be the most damaging chapter of his decades-long career. Quietly, methodically, they queued up tapes, recordings that had allegedly been kept under wraps for years. Surveillance footage, audio logs, hotel check-in data. The kind of receipts that even the most powerful can't erase. There was a shift in the air. You could feel it. This wasn't just celebrity gossip anymore. This was evidence, or what the court was treating as such. The term freakoffs, which had until recently lived mostly in rumor mills and lawsuit footnotes, suddenly took center stage in a legal setting, and with it came questions that had haunted hip-hop for decades. How much did we ignore? How much did people know and choose to look away from? But the most heartbreaking moment didn't come from a witness or a legal bombshell. It came from three young women, Diddy's daughters, Jessie, Delilah, and Chance, barely adults, sitting in that courtroom. As graphic content was described in testimony, they stood up and walked out. No dramatic gestures, no statements to the press, just a quiet refusal to sit through what was being said about their father. The emotional weight of that moment? You can't script that. It's raw, real, and deeply human. And here's where the story widens. Because this isn't just about Diddy anymore. It's about what happens when a public persona is so polished, so untouchable, that people forget to ask hard questions. It's about what gets buried beneath layers of wealth, style, charm, and legacy. And it's about how long it takes for truth to catch up, if it ever does. Now here's a fact most people don't know. The average celebrity receives more daily validation, in the form of social media likes, fan attention, and press coverage, than the average person experiences in a year. That's not just a popularity contest. Psychologists say it rewires your brain. It creates a sort of echo chamber where you're always right, always admired, always defended. Over time, empathy can erode. Boundaries blur. And what would be unthinkable to most people can begin to feel normal, even deserved, to someone who's lived like that for decades. So when we look at allegations involving manipulation, control, and orchestrated intimacy, it's not just a salacious headline. It's a reflection of unchecked influence. Diddy wasn't just a rapper or a businessman. He was the gatekeeper, the kingmaker. He could elevate someone's career with a single cosign, or shut it down just as fast. And in that kind of power dynamic, silence becomes currency. This is where the court documents get chilling. We're talking about allegations that involve not just physical encounters, but power games, threats, surveillance, isolation. The term honey trap has even been floated in some circles, meaning environments that are engineered to seduce and control. Rooms booked under aliases, NDAs shoved in front of people at 2 a.m., cameras placed where they shouldn't be. All allegedly, of course, but the stories are consistent, and that's what makes this moment different. It's not just one person coming forward. It's a pattern. People who never met each other, telling versions of the same story, years apart. It's enough to make even the most loyal fans pause. What's happening here, whether Diddy is found guilty or not, is a kind of cultural reckoning, one that forces us to ask, how much do we really want to know about our heroes? How far are we willing to go to protect an icon? And when do we start believing the people who risk everything just to tell the truth? And all of this is happening, in real time, with social media fueling every twist, with fans arguing in comment sections, with people defending Diddy by reposting old award speeches, while others post court transcripts and survivor statements. It's a digital war zone, and somewhere in the middle of it are real lives, real trauma, real loss. It's easy to get caught up in the spectacle, to watch the clips, laugh at the memes, share the headlines. But at the center of this storm are people whose lives will never be the same. The accusers, the families, the children. And let's not forget, Diddy's daughters just graduated high school. Imagine that. Celebrating a milestone one day, then walking out of a courtroom the next, because your father is being accused of things you can barely process. It's not just tragic, it's deeply unfair. So, what do we do with all of this? Where do we go from here? Maybe the answer isn't simple. Maybe it's not about picking sides or canceling anyone. Maybe it's about finally facing the uncomfortable truth that fame, real, unchecked fame, can be dangerous. Not just to the people who chase it, but to the people who get caught in its orbit. We have to start looking deeper, asking harder questions, holding power accountable, no matter how shiny or talented or legendary the person behind it is. Because if there's one thing this case is teaching us, it's that charisma can mask a lot, but eventually the tapes roll, the receipts surface, and the truth, no matter how long it takes, finds its way into the light. And when it does, we're all left to decide. Do we look away? Or do we finally look closer? In a small village, a cat named Whiskers discovered a magic fish in a pond. The fish promised 3 wishes in exchange for its freedom. Whiskers wished for endless fish, a cozy bed, and a bell that rang softly. The fish granted all 3 wishes and swam away, leaving Whiskers content and purring in the sun.